We're very happy you're here with us today.
Hi everyone. Whether you're relaxing at home, commuting, studying English, or listening before bed, thank you for spending some time with us.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Jake.
Today, we're talking about something that sounds simple at first, but becomes surprisingly deep once you start thinking about it.
That's right. Today, we're talking about superpowers.
Not the kind you see in movies.
No flying through the sky.
No super strength.
No invisible powers.
Instead, we're talking about the kind of superpower that exists in ordinary people.
The kind that quietly shapes your life without you even realizing it.
And today's conversation is called How I Found My Superpower.
I love this topic because I think most people spend years searching for something special about themselves.
That's true.
They look at other people and think, wow, that person is talented.
Or that person is confident.
Or that person seems to have everything figured out.
Meanwhile, they completely overlook their own strengths.
Exactly. They become so focused on what they don't have that they stop noticing what they already possess.
Possess is a useful word.
Yes, possess means to have or own a particular quality or ability.
For example, she possesses a natural ability to connect with people.
Or he possesses remarkable patience during difficult situations.
I think one reason people struggle to find their superpower is because they expect it to look extraordinary.
I completely agree. They imagine that a superpower must be something dramatic, impressive, or immediately obvious.
But real life rarely works that way.
In fact, many of the most valuable strengths are surprisingly quiet.
That's such an interesting idea.
Think about someone who remains calm during stressful situations.
Or someone who always knows how to comfort a friend.
Or someone who keeps moving forward even after disappointment.
Those qualities may not attract attention immediately.
But over time, they can completely transform a person's life.
Let me ask you something, Jake.
Sure.
When did you first start thinking about your own superpower?
Honestly, much later than I should have.
Really?
Yes, for a long time I believed that my strengths weren't particularly special because they felt normal to me.
That's fascinating.
Looking back, I think that's one of the biggest reasons people fail to recognize their gifts.
Because they become too familiar with them?
Exactly. If you've always been a certain way, it's difficult to see that quality clearly.
Like a fish trying to notice water.
That's actually a perfect example.
Explain what you mean.
Well, imagine you've always been a patient person. You've lived with that quality your entire life, so it feels completely ordinary.
Meanwhile, other people might admire that same quality.
Exactly. They notice something valuable that you barely notice at all.
I think that happens more often than people realize.
Definitely.
Sometimes our greatest strengths feel ordinary simply because we've carried them for so long.
And that's why discovering your superpower often requires a different perspective.
Perspective is another great word.
Perspective means the particular way someone sees or understands something.
For example, changing my perspective helped me recognize my strengths.
Or, life experiences can completely change your perspective.
So, how did your perspective change?
Interestingly, it wasn't success that changed it.
Really?
No, it was failure.
That's unexpected.
It surprised me too.
Tell us more.
There was a period in my life when several things didn't go according to plan. Some goals failed, some opportunities disappeared, and I felt completely lost.
I think many people can relate to that feeling.
Absolutely. Most people experience a season of uncertainty at some point in their lives.
Uncertainty can be incredibly uncomfortable.
It really can. Human beings naturally prefer clear answers and predictable outcomes.
But life doesn't always provide those things.
Not at all.
So what happened during that difficult period?
At first, I focused entirely on what wasn't working.
Which is a very human reaction.
Definitely. I kept thinking about my mistakes, my failures, and everything that seemed to be going wrong.
And then?
Then, I noticed something interesting.
What was it?
No matter how discouraged I felt, I kept trying again.
That's important.
Every time something failed, I would eventually stand up and continue moving forward.
Even when you felt exhausted?
Even then.
Even when you doubted yourself?
Especially then.
That's powerful.
At the time, I didn't think much about it. I assumed everyone responded that way.
But not everyone does.
Exactly.
Some people quit after the first obstacle.
Others quit after the second or third.
But you kept going.
Somehow, yes.
And that's when you discovered something about yourself?
That's when I realized that resilience might actually be one of my strengths.
Resilience is such an important word.
Yes, resilience means the ability to recover from difficulties and continue moving forward.
For example, resilience helped her overcome a difficult chapter in her life.
Or, life becomes easier when you develop resilience.
I love that realization because it didn't come from a moment of success.
No, it came from observing how I responded to struggle.
And I think that's where many people discover their superpower.
I agree completely.
Sometimes challenges reveal things that comfort never could.
Difficult seasons have a way of introducing us to parts of ourselves that we never knew existed.
Courage,
Patience,
adaptability,
determination,
strength.
qualities that often remain hidden until life asks us to use them.
Which raises an interesting question.
What's that?
If many people already have a superpower, and if that superpower is often hidden, how can they actually discover it?
That's exactly what we're going to explore next, because there are several clues that can help you recognize strengths you may have overlooked for years.
We talked about something that many people experience without realizing it.
Yes, we talked about how our greatest strengths often feel ordinary because they've been with us for such a long time.
And we also talked about how difficult experiences can reveal qualities that were hidden before.
Which brings us to an important question.
If your superpower is already there, how do you actually find it?
That's the challenge, because most superpowers don't arrive with a big announcement.
Imagine if they did.
One morning you wake up and receive a message saying, "Congratulations, your superpower has been identified."
Life would be much easier.
It really would.
But unfortunately, self-discovery doesn't work like that.
No. Usually it happens slowly through observation, reflection, and experience.
I think one of the biggest clues comes from other people.
That's such a good point.
Sometimes the people around us notice our strengths before we do.
Exactly. Think about the compliments you receive repeatedly throughout your life.
Not the random compliments.
No, the ones that appear again and again.
The comments that different people make independently.
Maybe people always tell you that you're a good listener.
Or that you're dependable.
Or that you remain calm during stressful situations.
Those patterns are often worth paying attention to.
Absolutely. If 10 different people notice the same quality, there's probably something important there.
Dependable is a useful word.
Yes. Dependable means someone who can be trusted and relied upon consistently.
For example, she's dependable because she always follows through on her promises.
Or, my team depends on him because he's extremely dependable.
I think many people dismiss compliments too quickly.
I agree.
Someone says something positive about them and they immediately respond, "Oh, it's nothing."
Or, anybody could do that.
Exactly.
But that's often the clue they're missing.
Because what feels easy for you may not be easy for everyone else.
That's one of the biggest lessons I learned.
Tell me more.
Well, when people repeatedly told me that I was resilient, I didn't think much about it.
Because it felt normal to you.
Right. I thought everyone got back up after setbacks.
But eventually you realized that wasn't always true.
Exactly. Some people struggle to recover after disappointment, while others naturally find a way forward.
And that difference matters.
A lot.
Another clue is something I've noticed in successful people.
What's that?
Their energy changes when they talk about certain activities.
That's very true.
Have you ever noticed how some people come alive when discussing a particular subject?
Absolutely.
Their voice changes.
Their eyes light up.
They become more engaged,
More enthusiastic.
more focused.
It's almost as if they're operating in their natural environment.
That's a beautiful way to describe it.
I think our superpowers often leave emotional clues.
Emotional clues?
Yes. Activities connected to our strengths often feel energizing rather than draining.
That's interesting.
For example, one person may feel exhausted after speaking to a large group.
While another person feels energized by the same experience.
Exactly.
One person may love solving complex problems.
While another person enjoys helping and encouraging others.
Different strengths create different kinds of energy.
Which is why comparing yourself to other people can be so misleading.
I completely agree.
We often compare our weaknesses to someone else's strengths.
And that's an unfair comparison.
Very unfair.
Because every person has a different combination of abilities and experiences.
That's why self-awareness is so important.
Self-awareness might actually be a superpower itself.
Honestly, I think it is.
Self-awareness allows you to see yourself clearly instead of seeing yourself through fear or insecurity.
That's a great definition.
Many people spend years trying to become someone else.
Instead of understanding who they already are.
Exactly.
Self-awareness helps you recognize your strengths, but it also helps you recognize your limitations.
And that's important too.
Because real confidence doesn't come from believing you're perfect.
It comes from understanding yourself honestly.
Confidence is often misunderstood.
How so?
Many people think confidence means never feeling fear or doubt.
But that's not realistic.
Not at all.
Every human being experiences uncertainty sometimes.
Exactly. Real confidence is knowing that you can handle challenges even when you don't have all the answers.
That's a much healthier definition.
And it connects directly to finding your superpower.
Because once you understand your strengths, you start trusting yourself more.
Yes, you begin to recognize patterns instead of focusing only on mistakes.
Pattern is another important word in this discussion.
Definitely.
A pattern is something that happens repeatedly over time.
For example, I started noticing a pattern in the feedback I received.
Or success often leaves clues in the form of patterns.
And I think patterns tell us a lot about who we are.
Sometimes more than a single achievement does.
Absolutely.
One success could be luck.
But repeated success usually points to a genuine strength.
That's such a valuable insight.
Another clue comes from looking back at your life.
Looking back?
Yes, think about the challenges you've overcome and the situations you've handled well.
What were you doing during those moments?
What qualities helped you move forward?
That's a powerful exercise.
It really is, because most people focus on what happened, but they rarely focus on how they responded.
And your response often reveals more about your character than the situation itself.
Character is another beautiful word.
Character refers to the qualities that define who a person is.
For example, adversity revealed the strength of her character.
Or good character is built through consistent actions. I think that's why difficult experiences can be surprisingly valuable, not because suffering is good.
Of course not.
But because challenges often reveal strengths we never knew we possessed.
Strengths that remain hidden during comfortable periods of life.
Exactly. The more we talk about this, the more I realize that finding your superpower is less about discovering something new.
That's such a great observation.
It's more about recognizing something that has been there all along.
Yes, something that has quietly appeared throughout your life in different forms.
Maybe through friendships.
Maybe through challenges.
Maybe through work.
Maybe through the way you help other people.
And once you finally recognize that strength, something interesting begins to happen.
You start seeing yourself differently.
Which sounds simple.
But it can completely change the direction of your life.
Because when you know your superpower, you stop chasing every opportunity.
And you start focusing on the areas where you can create the greatest impact.
But that creates another question.
A very important question.
Once you've discovered your superpower, should you simply accept it as it is? Or can you strengthen it, develop it, and turn it into something even more powerful?
That's exactly what we're exploring next.
All right, everyone.
Once you discover your superpower, what do you do with it?
Because recognizing a strength is one thing.
But developing it is something else entirely.
I think many people make the mistake of treating strengths as fixed qualities.
That's true.
They identify a strength and then assume the journey is over.
when in reality, discovering your superpower is usually the beginning of the journey rather than the end.
That's such a good way to describe it.
Think about any skill or quality that you admire.
Whether it's leadership, creativity, communication, or resilience,
Those strengths didn't become powerful overnight.
they were developed through practice and experience.
Exactly. Even natural talents become stronger when they are intentionally developed.
Intentionally is a useful word.
Yes, intentionally means doing something with purpose and conscious effort.
For example, she intentionally spent time improving her communication skills.
Or, he intentionally focused on developing his strengths.
I think that's where many people become stuck.
How so?
They spend years trying to improve weaknesses that don't truly define them.
That's an interesting point.
Instead of investing energy in their greatest strengths, they become obsessed with fixing every flaw.
And while growth is important, there is something powerful about building upon what already makes you unique.
Exactly.
Imagine someone whose superpower is connecting with people.
Okay.
The more they develop that ability, the more valuable it becomes.
They become better communicators,
Better friends,
better leaders.
better listeners.
Their strength creates opportunities in many different areas of life.
That's why I think superpowers are often multipliers.
Multipliers.
Yes, a multiplier is something that increases the effect of everything around it.
I like that idea.
A person with strong resilience doesn't just recover from challenges.
They also become more willing to take risks,
They become more adaptable,
more confident.
more willing to learn from failure.
One strength begins improving many other areas of life.
Exactly.
Another thing I've noticed is that people often compare their superpower to someone else's.
And that's usually a mistake,
Why?
because every strength serves a different purpose.
That's true.
Someone may have extraordinary creativity.
While another person has extraordinary discipline,
One strength is not automatically better than the other.
they're simply different.
Comparison often prevents people from appreciating their own value.
Value is a word that keeps appearing in today's conversation.
For good reason.
Because finding your superpower is really about recognizing the value you bring to the world.
That's beautifully said.
Thank you.
I think many people underestimate the impact of their strengths because they focus on what gets attention.
Attention can be misleading sometimes.
Very misleading.
Society often celebrates loud achievements,
Big promotions,
public success.
impressive accomplishments,
But some of the most important strengths are much quieter than that.
reliability,
Kindness,
emotional intelligence,
patience.
integrity.
Integrity is such a powerful word.
It really is.
Integrity means doing the right thing even when nobody is watching.
For example, people trusted him because he had integrity.
Or, integrity often matters more than talent.
I completely agree with that.
Me too.
The older I get, the more I realize that character-based strengths often have the greatest long-term impact.
That's a profound observation.
Someone may impress you with talent,
But character is often what earns trust.
and trust is one of the most valuable things a person can build.
Which reminds me of something.
What's that?
I think many people are still waiting for permission to believe in themselves.
That's such an important point.
They're waiting for a title, an achievement, or some form of external validation.
Validation is another useful word.
Yes, validation means recognition or approval from other people.
For example, she spent years seeking validation from others.
Or, true confidence doesn't depend entirely on validation.
The problem is that validation can be unreliable.
Very unreliable.
Some people may never fully recognize your strengths,
Even when those strengths are obvious.
which means your belief in yourself cannot depend completely on other people's opinions.
I think that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned.
Me too.
At some point, you have to trust what your experiences have already shown you.
Trust the challenges you've survived.
Trust the lessons you've learned.
Trust the strengths you've demonstrated repeatedly throughout your life.
Because the evidence is already there.
Exactly.
Maybe your superpower is resilience.
Maybe it's empathy.
Maybe it's discipline.
Maybe it's creativity.
Maybe it's adaptability.
Maybe it's your ability to bring calm into difficult situations.
Whatever it is, it has probably been helping you for longer than you realize.
And perhaps that's the most beautiful part of this conversation.
What's that?
Your superpower doesn't need to be invented,
It simply needs to be recognized.
because somewhere in your story, there are clues.
Clues hidden in challenges.
Clues hidden in relationships.
Clues hidden in the way you've responded to life.
And when you begin paying attention to those clues, you may discover something surprising.
That the strength you've been searching for has been with you all along.
Let's do a little speaking practice before we finish.
If possible, try answering these questions out loud.
First question, what quality do people compliment you on most often?
Second question, what challenge taught you the most about yourself?
Third question, what activity makes you feel energized and engaged?
Fourth question, what strength helps you during difficult times?
And fifth question, what do you think your real superpower might be?
Try answering using complete sentences.
For example, I think my superpower is resilience because I always find a way to keep moving forward.
Or, my superpower might be empathy because people often come to me for support.
Speaking out loud helps your English become more natural and confident.
Before we finish, let's quickly review what we talked about today.
We explored the idea that real superpowers are often quiet strengths rather than dramatic abilities.
We talked about resilience, self-awareness, character, and personal growth.
We also discussed how challenges often reveal strengths that were hidden before.
And we learned that discovering your superpower is really about recognizing patterns that already exist in your life.
Most importantly, we learned that every person has unique strengths worth developing.
And those strengths don't need to look extraordinary to be valuable.
Sometimes the qualities that change your life are the ones that seem the most ordinary.
Now, it's time for our question of the day.
What do you think your superpower is?
Write your answer in the comments. You can begin your sentence like this. I think my superpower is blank because blank.
We always enjoy reading your answers.
It's a wonderful way to practice your English writing skills while reflecting on your own life.